Change Radio, the people's radio, changing lives, changing communities, changing ideas. Tune in to Change Radio for all your fresh and undiluted news in Isindebele, Shona, and English. 5 days a week from Monday to Friday.
A warm welcome to you, our listeners and viewers, to our special program, our special edition on the elections in Zambia update here on Change Radio Zimbabwe in regional news, to give you the update on the elections in Zambia. Today, we will be joined by one of the senior members of the UNDP, the main opposition party in Zambia, who was part of the Presidential Campaign Committee, Mr. Bene Hachombwa, live and direct from Lusaka, Zambia.
Thank you so much. We want to thank the people. My name is Bene Hachombwa, a member of the United Party for National Development Presidential Campaign Committee in the Republic of Zambia. We are in the main opposition. We were in the main opposition, the United Party for National Development, and today we are proud to say we are now the ruling party of the Great Republic of Zambia. But perhaps, the international community, the international media, you've been giving us questions. You've been asking the United Party for National Development to say, how has been the election in Zambia?
The opposition party is in a celebratory mood as they have trounced the ruling party, the former ruling party, led by Edgar Lungu, and the United Party for National Development, headed by Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is poised for a landmark watershed victory in the elections in the nation of Zambia.
For us in the UPND, we want to say this election is a dedication. We dedicate this election to the people of Zambia. We dedicate this election to the electorate in Zambia. On the first place, prior the elections, we had a lot of difficulties. The difficulties that we had, one, we had difficulties to campaign because our colleagues, the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front, under the leadership of Mr. Edgar Lungu, differentiated the UPND, by then in opposition to campaign, to reach out to the people. We were differentiated even to fly. We were differentiated even to visit other provinces of the country because cadres belonging to the former ruling party were so violent. Not only that, the ruling party by then, mark my words, made sure that our leader, the new 7th President Hakainde Hichilema, did not travel. He was put under a house arrest. This house arrest was something that Hakainde Hichilema never made any movement. When he wanted to visit the Copper Belt, he was blocked. When he wanted to visit the other province, he was blocked. But the other man used to travel throughout the country in the name of inspecting government projects. But today, the people of Zambia had listened up and they made sure that they have voted him out in a free and fair election.
So during the election campaign period, we had the soon-to-be former president, Mr. Edgar Lungu, calling the opposition parties, in particular the UNDP, calling them crybabies because they had expressed legitimate concerns that they were being, facing a lot of violence at the hands of the then ruling party, and being stopped from campaigning during the election campaign period. So he was calling them crybabies because they could genuinely not access their voters to campaign. So it seems a bit weird and a bit off when the soon-to-be former president, Mr. Edgar Lungu, now cries foul and says these elections were not free and fair, and whereas he had at his hands the state machinery, the media, the police, the army, and he was unleashing a reign of terror on the opposition members. So for him to come out and cry foul and hint that the elections were not free and fair, what do you have to say about that, Mr. Hachombwa?
This is a man that received a diplomat, the former president of Tanzania, President Jakaya Kikwete, is still in the country. He's still in the country. And we heard the statement from Mr. Edgar Lungu, the former president, telling the former head of state to say, in this country, meaning Zambia, in this country, there are people, they are crybabies, referring to us in the UPND to say we are crybabies. We cry when we lose elections. But to our surprise, he's the one who is a crybaby, insinuating to say the election was not free and fair. That is a joke. That is a joke over there. From a person who had the state machinery, for a person who had the whole government machinery, to say that we leaked the election. That is so cheap. That is cheap from Mr. Edgar Lungu. He claims we leaked it. How do we leak an election? The only tool that the United Party for National Development had was the support from the people of Zambia. That is the only tool. No question about it. We only had the people of Zambia on our side. And the people of Zambia taught the former ruling party a lesson by making sure that they voted them out. And for Mr. Edgar Lungu to start crying foul, that is so alarming. That is so alarming. And we challenge Mr. Edgar Lungu to accept defeat. Let him concede defeat. Let him concede defeat. And we also encourage the former Republican president of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Rupia Banda, to quickly sit down with Mr. Edgar Lungu and advise him to say there is life after politics. There is life after being a president, because the country is bigger than an individual. The country, the peace of the country is bigger than the political party. Mr. Edgar Lungu, few days before the closure of campaigns, statements are there. He issued a statement to say when he retains office, he wanted to arrest my president, our president, the 7th president, President Hakainde Hichilema, on claims that we don't know.
And in line with expressing the soon-to-be ruling party's, the UNDP, desire to positively change the country of Zambia, Mr. Hachombwe outlined a few developmental issues that were touched on during the election campaign period that the soon-to-be ruling party is going to be, campaigning for the nation of Zambia. This was including their wish to develop the country, the arresting corruption, which has been a big scourge in the country, the reduction of external debt, and sanitizing the health sector, among other issues. Let's take a listen.
We want to urge Mr. Lungu, being a member of the presidential campaign team, we are telling Mr. Edgar Lungu that President Hakainde Hichilema has got no time to start arresting you, sir. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to arrest the economy that you have broken. That is what he wants to do. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to ship in quickly and make sure that inflation rate goes down. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to reduce the cost of living. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to create opportunities for the youths. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to retain the bursaries that you took away from the students of universities. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to bring law and order in the country, Public Order Act. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to reduce cadreism in the markets, terrorism in the markets. PF cadres, the Patriotic Front cadres, the former ruling party, now the opposition cadres, were beating up marketeers in the market, collecting money from the poor people in the markets. Police had no power. Our police in the country can be beaten by a cadre. A cadre beats a police officer in uniform. Those are the things that were happening in the country. But the country is so happy today because all these things have come to an end. Because the country will have no fights. No one will be fighting anyone. This time around, we want to start working. We want to improve the cost of living. We want to reduce the external debt. That is what we want to do. These guys overborrowed a lot. President Hakainde Hichilema wants to bring sanity in the health sector. Perhaps Mr. Edgar Lungu is scared that the expired condoms that he supplied to the Zambian community through his cadre, Chomba, he gave a cadre a contract to supply condoms, and he supplied the expired condoms and medicine. That is why we had a lot of loss in the country.
And displaying similar patterns and the same operation that is used by dictators all over Africa when it comes to elections, Edgar Lungu, the soon-to-be former president of Zambia, chose to walk on that walk as well, where he tried to frustrate the main opposition party, including blocking the opposition party leader, Mr. Hichilema, from campaigning, and where he had him under house arrest on several occasions and blocked him from campaigning, in particular in the Copperbelt region of Zambia. Mr. Hachombwa gives us more details.
Zambians were being gassed. People were being tear-gassed by the police. Citizens were being killed by the police. Police brutality. All those things are things that we want to work on in the UPND. We don't want to persecute anyone because we have got no time to persecute. But we shall leave the rule of law. The rule of law has to take its course. Anyone who has committed crime against humanity must face the law. That is about the law. No nepotism. Zero tolerance to corruption. That is what we explained in our manifesto. Quickly, we just wanted to inform the world. The world must know that Zambia has decided. And the decision is Hakainde Hichilema. And Mr. Edgar Lungu is trying to act very funny. But the people of Zambia have vowed not to allow him continue steal from the taxpayers' money. The people of Zambia have vowed not to allow Mr. Edgar Lungu to continue terrorizing the people in the streets through his cadres who are beating up people, killing up people. The people of Zambia have vowed not to allow Mr. Edgar Lungu to steal their tax. Mr. Edgar Lungu came into office with only about 2 million kwacha. Today he's worth billions of monies. Where did he get the money? We don't know where he got the money. It is our money, of course, our taxpayers' money. In my conclusion, we challenge the PF, we challenge Mr. Edgar Lungu to start negotiating his exit. That is the only way. Let the big man negotiate his exit. We shall take care of him. We shall build him a retirement house. We shall make sure that Mr. Edgar Lungu is safe as a former president. He's a former president. That is what the UPND will do for Mr. Edgar Lungu. The UPND will respect Mr. Edgar Lungu because we believe in respecting the presidency. We respect the presidency and we are appealing to Mr. Edgar Lungu to please concede defeat because the people of Zambia are eager to see development. The people of Zambia are eager to see the performance of Hakainde Hichilema in office and his cabinet and his team. Thank you so much.
And as the people of Zambia have come together to speak with one voice, together as a nation, we at Change Radio Zimbabwe, and indeed from the whole nation of Zimbabwe, we would like to wish them well and send our hearty congratulations to the people of Zambia, to the UNDP, and to the incoming president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, And we will close with a quote from Mr. Hichilema, which he has just said, and I will read. As we move beyond the campaign period, let us all agree to put Zambia first. We are one nation, one people, one Zambia. We must come together, united by a common love for our country and our people, so that we can begin moving Zambia forward. And with those words, we just want to say to you, from Change Radio Zimbabwe and from myself, Sophia Tekwani, congratulations to the people of Zambia and good night.